Alrighty, so, the new Aviator mod. What do you guys think of it? I think it's candidate for shittest mod in Warframe. I mean, it maxes out at a minus 20% damage reduction while airborne, so unless the developers plan on giving our Warframes some kind of propellers or wings, then I can't see myself using this thing at all. Jumping around in missions like a twit just to take a small amount of damage reduction, I think I'd rather just put something else on my Warframe instead. But let me know what you guys think of it. So anyway, the main topic of the video. Unlike all my other Warframe choice videos, this one's a little bit different. In other videos, I've asked you guys which one you would pick if you were giving the choice. But in this one, it's more of a which Warframe do you think needs a fix or a bit of a buff more than the other. So in this video, it's the very tall and tanky Saryn.
That's a huge bitch!
And next up is the very good looking Valkyr.
God damn!
So both of these frames are good fun to play, but when it comes to standing toe to toe with some of the more popular frames, they do tend to fall a little bit short. I mean, I for one very rarely come across a Saryn or even a Valkyr now, because most players I think have realised that Rhinos, Novas, Nyx, Vauban, Trinity, basically all the rest just seem to be a lot more viable in endgame missions than these two Warframes are at the minute. And I'm sure plenty of you guys play with one or the other of these Warframes, but they do feel kind of seriously neglected by a large amount of the player base. But by all means, let me know what you love about them if you do run with them. So first off, I'm going to talk about Saryn. Now Saryn was the first Warframe that I ever stuck a form on last year, and I had really loved playing her until I got my hands on my Rhino and my Nova, and then it was kind of obvious that she was a little bit underpowered compared to both of these frames. I mean, okay, so she's a poison themed Warframe armed with toxic powers that can disintegrate her foes to complete dust. She's also one of the more tanky based offensive Warframes, like the Novas and all them don't have as much armour and that as she has. She has a higher base health as well. And although she shines at low to medium level missions, it's only when you actually start hitting the high level enemies that she starts to drop off, and her Miasma and Venom, they just don't do enough damage. But if you have got a solid weapon while using her and with a few form on it, then she can survive for a pretty long time, and her moat is rather useful for drawing fire from enemies long enough away from you to clear shop with your squad. Now in this footage I am using my 4 form of Penta, so it looks a little bit easier than it actually might be if you don't have a really high damaged weapon, so take that into account. So like I said, the second of the Warframes is one of the latest additions to the Warframe, which is Valkyr. Now she was probably one of the most anticipated frames. Like I for one couldn't wait to get my hands on a Berserker frame just to wreck shit. It sounded amazing, just this frame that would just go nuts. And then I got my hands on her and she was a load of fun at low levels, and leveling her up it brought a smile to my face, I'm not going to fucking lie. I really enjoyed it. But then when you got to the high levels, much like Saryn, her hysteria just feels more like you're a fly buzzing around your enemies' heads, pissing them off with your little slaps until hysteria runs out and you have to tuck tail and run like shit before you get killed. Now, yeah, she has Rip Line, which is a fun ability if you want to be a spider frame just zipping all over the place, or trolling your teammates and pulling them off a ledge into an abyss below, or whatever floats your boat, I don't know. And like her other abilities, her paralysis does only cost 5 energy, but it only stuns enemies for a few seconds, and her Warcry does give teammates a melee boost to speed and damage, which at high levels, the last thing you want to do is to get into melee range to some of these high level enemies, especially the heavy armoured ones, the Grineer ones, the Ancients. They literally just one shot you, so you don't want to be getting into melee range. And I'm going to be honest, I'd love both of these frames to have some kind of a buff to bring them into line, along with some of the other Warframes, to bring them into line with what the top Warframes are at the minute, so you have a little bit more of a diversity in the game. Like at the minute, every mission seems to have either a Rhino, Nova, Trinity, Nyx or Frost, but there are others that I very rarely see. I mean, if I run a single mission I might come across an Ashe, but if I go high wave defense or a survival, then I very rarely see one. And quite frankly, if you're jumping into a random group, they're not really wanted either. The same with Saryn, Valkyr. Necros is good, yeah, for survival, but anything outside of that, randoms don't want them. But like always, these are my opinions, but let me know what you guys think of Saryn and Valkyr. Do you think they need some kind of loving from the developers? And what other Warframes might need it as well? Do you think need a bit of a buff, or maybe some of the higher ones need a bit of an nerf? Then by all means leave a comment section below. Oh, and by the way, the new event that's out at the minute for that mod that I showed at the start, it's really easy. I just went on to a survival on Eris. I can't think of the fucking name of the mission at the minute because I don't have it open, but it's 3 down from Zini, and I got about 30 of them in one run, and then I done the second run and I got another 20 or something. So yeah, it's really easy. Oh, and also if you haven't subscribed, then by all means hit that subscribe button for more Warframe content, and thanks very much for watching.